Hey Pilates people, welcome to Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. I'm really looking forward to today's functional reformer session. There's going to be a lot of hip work, a lot of rotation, and a lot of coordinating upper and lower body together in movement. So definitely full body today. You will honor your body. Please, please, please promise me that. Make your spring adjustments as you need for your reformer. And then to start, we will need a light, a medium, and a heavy. So for my balanced body, I have a red, blue, and a green. You don't need any props, knee pad maybe, right? Because we will be doing some kneeling. But other than that, no balls, bells, whistles, box, nothing. So when you've got your spring set up, we're gonna start lying down for some footwork. So make sure that you are centered on your carriage. Let's start with your heels on hip socket distance apart. And then before we get to moving the carriage, I just want you to feel yourself settle into your natural neutral. Feel like that tailbone stretches away from the crown of your head and your ribs soften into the mat. And start to feel your chest roll open just a bit more, so maybe more of the back of the arms could connect to the mat. Feet, give them a hard flex. All 10 toes are pointing up to the ceiling. Go ahead and exhale out all of your breath. And then on your inhale, you're gonna press the carriage out, driving right through the center of the heels. And then exhale, bend the knees, come all the way home. Inhale takes you out. Exhale pulls you home. So think of your footwork, right, as a time to set yourself up for the rest of class, even for the rest of your day. So if you know that you have a dominant side or just a wonky hip or knee, now's your time to even those things out. This should feel like there's an energetic reach out through your fingertips. Palms are pressed down. Again, driving right through the center of those heels. Let's do 3 and 2. And 1, press the carriage all the way out. Keep your torso stable. Bring your right leg up into tabletop. We bend the left knee, bring the carriage home, and then drive it out. So of course, we're trying to focus on keeping everything stable and square. Easier said than done. And also starting to tap into that left butt cheek a bit more. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Press the carriage all the way out. Right heel comes down. Before we lift the other leg up, just look down and just make sure that your feet are starting off centered. Head comes back down, smooth like butter. Left leg comes up into tabletop. Feel yourself square. Bend your right knee. Press the carriage out. All right, so see, like for me, I can feel my right shoulder really wants to lift up. I want to twist so bad over to the left, but I'm trying hard to stay square. Right, both hips are trying to stay down. And on this side, think of your right pinky toe pulling back a little bit as the big ball of your foot pushes forward just ever so slightly. And the more you try to ground down through the arms, it's gonna help you from twisting if you're having that problem like me. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Press it all the way out. Left heel comes down. Maybe you just quickly check yourself to make sure you're centered. And then bend your knees, come all the way home. All right, so let's go ahead and come onto the arches, hip socket distance apart. Reach the toes up and over, but feel the heels reach down and under. Find a pull down on the foot bar. Take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, give me a little tuck of your hips, little hover of your tailbone. And now pause here. Your ribs should be bolted into the mat. Your inner thighs are hugging together. And now keeping this little hover, you're gonna press the carriage out and then pull the carriage in. Press the carriage out. Keep that pubic bone pulling back towards your navel. And then as you come in, feel those heels pull down and under the foot bar. So if I was there with you, I'd have my hands on your heels or the back of the ankles, and I would kind of pull down on them as you brought the carriage in. So try to replicate that. And you might feel just a little bit more, I don't know, just a little bit more. Sides of the neck are long here. Let's do 3 and 2. Pull down to come in. Last one. Pull down to come in. Once the carriage is home, just roll all the way down. Feel that your tailbone sinks heavy. We're going to keep the arches on. Go ahead and press the carriage out and then pull yourself home. So when you're here now, can you still find that strong engagement through the back of the legs? Now with the hips down. Inhale takes you out. Exhale, pull you home. Pull down and home. Knees still looking up to the ceiling. Last one here. Come all the way in. Let's come onto the toes. Still hip socket distance apart and in parallel. All right, so every ball of the foot is equally connected. Go ahead and press the carriage out on the inhale and then bend the knees, come all the way home. So can you now find that pull down here as we go out and in? In other words, can you still feel the back of your legs firing up as you bring the carriage home? All right. Now I want you to press the carriage out. You're going to drive the heels down and under the foot bar. Keep driving them down as you lift the knees, bend the knees, bring the carriage all the way home. Lift the heels up a little bit, press the carriage out, drive the heels down and under. Pull down, keep driving the heels down, down, down as you bring the carriage all the way in. Let's continue with this. If you're tight in the back of your ankles or your heels, you might be getting a little stretch. But I'm kind of hoping for everybody that you're starting to feel a little bit more seat connection, a little bit more booty, hamstring, fire up. Pull down, 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 down. 2 more here. Upper body is still at the party and anchored down into the mat. Last one. Drive down, pull it in, resist, 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 resist. Fabulous. Inch away from your shoulder blocks a little bit here. Make sure you've got some space. Place your right arch up onto the foot bar, left arch-ish onto the gray platform. Still hip socket distance apart, okay? So feel free to let your left foot pivot around a little bit. Your right arch just pretty much stays planted. So arms are anchored down. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, roll those hips up into bridge and pause at the top. Feel that your pubic bone is higher than your 2 hip points. Thighs are hugging in, and then round down through your spine, roll down, roll down. You can do whatever with your arms. My arms just came up to demonstrate something, and they just stayed up there. Of course, if you want to make it harder, arms will come up. All right, last one here. Roll the hips up. Pause here. I forgot to say, just make sure your headrest is down now that we're in this bigger bridge. All right. So keep your left hip driving up as you press the carriage out and then pull the carriage in. Press the carriage out and then pull it in. The focus here is more on the left leg. The right leg is more of, I guess, like an assist now in this press out and in. Keep that pubic bone going back towards your navel. Neckline is long. Should be feeling a lot of work in the back body right now. Let's do 3. Still work that pull down. 2. And last one. Pull the carriage all the way into the stopper and then round down through your spine. All right, we switch. Every side is different. Find your inner thighs, find an equal push down to start, okay? So arms anchored down, roll the hips up, find the top of your bridge, and then roll down. Again, lengthen the waist as you roll up, find the work at the top, and then roll down. You, of course, may hinge if you need, all right? Lift the hips up. Once again, think pubic bone higher than your 2 hip points. Try to square off as best you can. Press the carriage out and away, and then pull it in. So now think of shifting maybe just a little bit more weight into that right leg. And it might be like a 60-40 type deal. It doesn't have to be crazy. I was panicking there. I almost forgot how to do math for a second. Ribs are still soft, right? Remember, we're trying to extend at the hips, not the chest or the upper back. Find your inner thighs. Feel that your your big toes are kind of hugging in a little bit. I feel like mine's just winging out to the side a bit more. Let's do 3 and 2. Neck long, shoulders relaxed. Last one, pull it all the way into the stopper and then roll down. Awesome. Bring your knees into your chest, little rock from side to side. In fact, take your feet onto those, you know what I mean, wide, and then drop your knees off to the left. Look over that right shoulder, and then drop your knees over to the right. Look over your left shoulder. Just find a twist. All right, and then go ahead and come back through center. So I'm gonna challenge you to stay on these same springs for your 100. Headrest can come back up if you need. You're gonna grab onto your long loops. Wrap your fists around, pull them just over your shoulders. Find your broad collarbone, bring your knees into your chest. Super glue the legs together, and now lower your arms down, send your legs out, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up if that's for you. Carriage, keep it super still. Start pumping here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Push so hard into those straps, you feel like you could roll up off the mat. Inhale and exhale. Keep hugging the upper thigh bones together. Make your arms so long you create space between ears and shoulders. Try to lift the shoulder blades up off the mat. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down with control. Go ahead and hang up the straps. Roll yourself up. Let's come to 2 medium springs. So for me, that's 2 red, 2 medium springs. So let's go ahead and lie back down. Headrest is gonna go back down. And we're gonna go into our short spine. So a little inversion. Extra challenge, try to keep the carriage in and quiet as you roll your hips up and take your feet into the short loops. Then you pull your heels to your seat and then roll down. So we start in this little frog position. Arms are weighted, heels together, toes apart. Press your heels together, press the legs out, and then bend the knees back in. So again, find your seat, press the legs out, and then bend the knees in. Inhale takes you out. Exhale pulls you in. Send the legs out and away. Keep the legs straight. Float the legs up and over. Close the springs. Weights in your shoulders, not your head. Bend your knees into the blocks. Hips lift up higher. And now pull your heels to your seat and roll down like a little ball. Once your tailbone is heavy, send the legs back out. Legs come up and over. Keep dropping the chest away from the chin. Arms get longer and heavier. Bend your knees into the blocks. Pull your heels to your seat. Roll down like a little ball. Tailbone is heavy. Press the legs out. Legs go up and over. We're gonna switch it up this time. Bend your knees in. Keep your feet over your face and just in a little bit of spring tension. Roll your hips away from your feet. Roll down, roll down. Try to get those legs straight if you can. Pinch your heels together, pull your heels to your seat. Bottom goes down, legs go back out. One more like that. Legs go up and over. Arms get longer. Bend your knees into the blocks. Find spring tension. Roll your hips away from your feet. Roll down, roll down, roll down. Pull your heels to your seat. Bottom goes down. All right. So take your hands now into the long loops for a little bit of coordination and maybe a little bit of overhead. Let's do overhead. So send your legs out onto the foot bar. All right. Arms are straight up. Zip up through the inner thighs. Arms are straight here. Take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, arms are gonna come down, legs float up to 90. Anchor the arms, legs go open over for your rollover. Once again, chest off of your chin. And then from here, can you reach the toes up to the sky? Think baby jackknife, and then roll down through your spine. Roll down, hips hit. Once the hips are down, legs are gonna lower, arms are gonna lift. Again, arms come down, legs go up and over. Keep lifting up through the back of the legs. Now reach the toes up to the sky. Open up the hips, open, and then roll down, roll down, roll down. Hips hit, arms lift. Again, last one. Up and over. Make those arms longer, y'all. Good, float both legs up. Reach, 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 roll down, legs lower, arms lift. Now bring your knees into your chest, arms come down by your side. If it's available, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Bend your elbows just to 90. Keep the neckline long, straighten the arms, straighten the legs out, hold. We open with resistance. We close, bend the knees all the way into the chest, bend the elbows. Again, straighten the arms, straighten the legs. Only the legs are gonna open. They're gonna close. Bend the knees all the way in, bend the elbows. Again, straighten the arms, straighten the legs, hold. Just hold, 2, 3. Bend the knees all the way in, bend the elbows. Last one here, straighten the arms, straighten the legs. Pull your right knee into your chest. Make your left leg longer and switch. Pull the knee in, and switch. In, and switch. Think of that knee coming all the way to your ear, all the way to the ear for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Pull both knees in, lower the head, raise the arms. Nice work. Go ahead and hang up those straps. Roll yourself up. And now we're gonna come to 1 medium spring. So we were on 2, now we're on 1 medium spring. Grab your knee pad if you need it. We're gonna come kneeling, facing your foot bar. So feet up against your shoulder blocks and really get like a solid connection of as much of the back of the foot to the blocks as you can. Hands on each hand. Find just a little bit of spring tension so you know what you're working with. I'm holding onto the long loops. Now find just a little hover of your booty off of your heels, all right? My arms are gonna stay straight. Find your inner thighs again. And then as you drive the hips up, arms are gonna lift up and forward and then hold here. I want you to find that sensation of pubic bone forward, hips kind of lifting up towards your ribs. And then as your hips sit back, arms are gonna lower down, all right? Again, scoop up, reach up, drive the pelvis forward. It's a hip thrust. And then lower back down, right? Or a bridge. Again, drive that pelvis forward, arms lift, and then hips sit back. Yep, make sure this is coming from your booty, all right? Very easy to go into your low back here. Reach up and away. There you go. Now on this next one, we're gonna change it up. So we come up, all right? Lower half stays stable. Arms lift a little bit more. They open out to the sides, open up your wingspan. And as they now come down to your hips are gonna sit back. Again, drive the hips up, lift the arms. Open them out wide, circle around with control. Hips sit back, arms go back. Again, up, around, around, around. Sit those hips back. Last one. Around and sit those hips back. Now, I want you to lift the hips up a little bit higher than that first initial hover. Keep the elbows hugged into your sides. Palms are facing the foot bar. And now bend the elbows, little bicep curl. And then resist to straighten the arms. Keep driving back through your feet. I just noticed that mine lost a little bit of connection. And dig down through the balls of your feet. Shoulder girdles stay stable here. Let's do 3. And 2. And 1. Arms go back. Now, we're gonna sit the hips up, reach the arms forward. Turn the palms facing the wall in front of you. Bend the elbows wide like goalpost arms, and then straighten the arms. It's an overhead press. Bend the elbows wide, and then straighten the arms. So how long can you keep your neck as you do this bend and straighten, right? So we should not be feeling the shoulders up into the ears. Inner thighs at the party. Now straighten your arms. Now we add that hip sit back. So bend at the hips, elbows bend as well, and then drive the hips up, arms go straight, right? Sit the hips back, straighten the arms. Drive the hips forward. Are you feeling your legs right now? I am. Make sure those pinkies are wrapping around those straps. You got this. Let's do 5 more. Drive the hips forward. Good. Yep. Dig down through the balls of the feet. This is 4. You got it. 3 more. Hang in there. 3. Use your exhale at your tough spot. And 2. Last one. Lower down with control. Sit your hips back and go ahead and hang up your straps. Awesome. We're going to stay on the spring. So you're going to walk your feet a little bit more forward, maybe in that kind of like back third area. Find maybe like a little Pilates V. Hands come onto your foot bar. Push down into the arms. Come up into a plank. Right? So shoulders are right over your hands to start. Feel the lift of your sternum into your back. There's a little pinch to your seat. And now glide the carriage out a little bit. And then pull the carriage in. Inhale takes you out. Exhale pulls you home. So find a pull apart on the bar and think of your armpit muscles and your lat muscles kicking on to pull you home. Now on this next one, can you pull yourself forward, 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 and then back out? So the focus for this one is finding your front planche. So pull yourself past the foot bar and then go back. Lift up through the base of the ribs. Pull the carriage in, and then back out. Find that strong protraction. Again, pull yourself in, and now start to pike the hips up. Bring the carriage in. Sit the hips back. We're just going to do a flow into kind of an up stretch. Press the carriage back. Pull the carriage in. Find your front planche. Drop the head round through the ribs. Pike the hips up. Sit the hips back. Last one. Pull the carriage in. Can you close it? Woo! Pike the hips up. Press the carriage back. Finish strong. This will be your last one right here. Pull it in. Awesome. And then go ahead and step off. All right. So we're going to stay on this spring. I want you to take what we just did there, this lift up through the sternum, and apply it here, okay? So my left foot is going to go up against the shoulder block. Right foot on the floor, even though you probably can't see it. Hands are on the foot bar. So instead of having them super close, have them a little bit further apart. So my left hand is now in the center of the foot bar. All I want you to do is just lunge back, right? Find a stretch through the front of that left hip and then bring the carriage in, right? Press it out, find a stretch, and then bring the carriage in. Now we're just gonna add on some rotation. So as you press the carriage out now, reach your right arm up and back behind you, and then bring the carriage in. Left arm reaches up and back behind you, reach back, look back, and then bring the carriage in. One more time each side. Right arm up and back, look back, and bring it in. Last one, up and back. Open up your wingspan, and then come all the way in. All right, now get to a position on that back foot where you can keep the left knee hovering. Straighten the back leg. Bend into your front knee. Now when we bring the carriage in, remember the lift up through the sternum. You're gonna hover your right leg. So bring the carriage in, hover the leg, and then place it down. Hover the leg, and place it down. Last one like this, hover, and down. Now when we come in, you're gonna place your foot on the rail. So pike up, place your foot onto the rail. All right, so push down into the arms. Pull your ribs up off of your right thigh right now, okay? Try to keep the carriage relatively still. Lift your right heel up, and now try to pull your knee into your nose, and then place it down. Oh yeah, so it's gonna go across a little bit. All right, lift the heel, pull the knee into the nose, and then place it down. One more like that. Lift the heel, pull the knee into the nose, and then back down. Now we place the foot down. Now we're gonna do a knee into the chest and find that same abdominal engagement. So use your exhale. So carriage out, exhale, lift the knee into the chest and down. Goes right into the nose, into the nose. Lift the sternum, y'all. Pike the hips, lift the ribs. Let's do 2. Push down into those arms. Last one. Awesome. Bring the carriage in. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So this knee into your chest is your single leg stretch. It's your rolling like a ball. It's also this little ball that you do right before you go into your L set. It's your tuck to a planche. There's so many things. So give me a couple press outs here. Finding a stretch into that front thigh. Or sorry, your right thigh. Now when you press it out, reach your left arm around and back. Push that foot bar away. And then bring the carriage in. Right arm reaches up and around. And then back in. One more time each side. Left arm up and around. And back in. Right arm up and around. And back in. All right, so now, right, we hover the right knee. Straighten the leg. Bend your left knee, right? We're just gonna do 3 pikes, right, with the legs straight. So pike the hips up, legs stay straight, and then pop it down. Strong push into those arms, y'all. Pike the hips, and down. One more like that. Pike the hips, lift the ribs, and down. Now we take the foot up onto the rail. Find a position where you can keep the carriage somewhat quiet. So, all right, lift the heel, take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, pull the knee into the nose and down. Big inhale. Exhale, pull the knee in, and then back down. Woo, one more time. Inhale. Exhale, pull the knee in, and then back down. And then place the foot down. Woo. All right, you know, pike the hips up, knee into the nose. Use your exhale. Exhale, lift the ribs. Push that foot bar down to the floor. Round your spine, round that tailbone under, y'all. Give me 3 more. 3, and 2, and last one. Come down, nice work. All right, now I want you to come down to your lightest spring. So for me, that is a yellow spring. If you have 2 light springs, like I said, you're gonna go down to your lightest spring. This is one of these where it's gonna go from 0 to 100 real quick. So play around with the position of your body where your hand is on the strap here. So I'm facing the reformer, right? And I'm gonna take my left hand onto the long loop to start. My feet, they're about shoulder width distance apart. All 10 toes are pointing forward. So I don't care what you do with your right hand, just let it feel natural. I'm gonna bend into my knees. I'm gonna sit my hips back, and I'm gonna rotate my body to the back end of the reformer, okay? Just rotate and look. And then as I stand up, I'm gonna row the elbow wide. Now, right here, I can feel that I really wanna shift over because the spring is pulling me. So feel like you're grounding down equally through both feet to start. Hinge the hips back, reach the arm forward, find a twist, and then stand it up, row the elbow wide. So I feel that when my arm goes through, I want a little bit more stretch, right? But I know I'm gonna have to work harder on the back end. So we stand up, row, and then twist the body. Try to keep the hips square. Sometimes the hand on the hip, right, can maybe help you with that, or maybe just a look down. Last one like this. Drive the pelvis forward, right? So now we're just doing the standing, right? Okay, so holding in this squat position, step your left foot back a little bit. Now most of the weight is in your right leg, okay? So keep this balance, and now stand up, row the elbow wide. So notice like it just got a lot harder, right? We hinge forward, arm goes under, yep. Yep. Try your best to keep a tripod connection down through that right foot. Now we're gonna add on. So row the elbow wide. Can you bring the left knee up into your chest? Step it back. We twist. All right, row it. Knee into the chest. Step it back. We twist. Last one like this. and then step it back. Now, if you're still thinking, man, lady, this is kind of easy, hold here with me. You're in your twist looking at the back end of a reformer. Can you hover the back leg? Yeah. Now we stand up. Knee into the chest. Don't fall. Leg goes back. It hovers. We twist. Knee up. Stand all the way up. Yes. We twist. So when you go for that twist, y'all, keep the right ball of your foot down. Let's do 3. Yep. And 2. Twist, 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 twist. Good, last one. Awesome, finish strong, finish that twist. Beautiful, step the foot down. Hello, hip. Let's do the other side. Every side is different, remember that. So I'm sure you figured out the closer you are to the back end of the reformer, the easier the pull is gonna be. The closer to the foot bar, the harder. So first we start by standing facing our reformer, little bend to the knee, sit the hips back. We twist our body towards the back end of the reformer, and then we stand up, row the elbow wide. All right, we twist, hips stay square. Again, do what feels natural with that arm. Feel like those rib cage wrap around. Kneecaps face forward. So every now and then take a peek at those knees and see what they're doing. I don't want them winging out. Let's do 3 more of these. Last one. I think that was 3. All right, so find rotation. Step your right foot back. Now most of the weight is on your left foot. All right. And then back out. You got it. So what helps me in this position, especially on this leg, I think about rooting down through my my left big ball of the foot, and my left heel is kind of like twisting to the left a little bit. Because what wants to happen for a lot of people is that heel wants to go in, our toes want to turn out. Do one more like this. Woo. Okay, now we add that knee drive. So square your body off, drive the knee up, step the foot back, we twist. Do it again, all at once. Knee up, row. There we go. Woo, find balance. Ho, ho, ho. Yes, 2 more like this. I know we did quite a bit on that other side. Awesome. Can you now hover that back leg? Sit that hip back. Yep, drive the knee up, row. Hello, hello, hello. Stuff and things. How's that left foot doing? Ooh, is it still like kind of screwing into the floor, or is it just all over the place? There you go. Check in with your neck, right? It's your upper back that's working here, not your neck. Come on, hang in there with me. Let's do 3. You got this. I know that left hip is working. And 2. Oh, ho, ho. Last one, finish. There you go, there you go. Nice, step the foot down. All right, so before we move on to anything else, have a seat on your reformer, take an ankle over the knee, and just quick figure 4 stretch, right? Maybe a little twist, a little hinge forward, and then switch sides. Just quick, quick, quick. Breathe down into that hip. Okay, now let's go to your next lightest spring. So not your lightest, your next one up. And if you're like, well, that's all I have, maybe you have a button, or like you can do like a spring and a half, right? So you're gonna come kneeling on your carriage. I'm gonna be facing you, so my shoulder blocks are to the right. So my shin right now is up against the reformer, or up against the shoulder blocks rather. And if you only have the one super light, you can always choke up here. So I'm gonna grab on here. My palms are facing down, my hands are together. I'm gonna sit the hips back, all right? Again, find some inner thighs. Arms are gonna stay straight. I'm gonna drive the hips up and then sweep the arms out to the side, find rotation. Hinge back through the hips, arms twist, my body twists towards that back frame, and then drive the hips up and twist. Feel like your arms are attached to the middle of your back right now, right? So if you start to feel necky, right, this is getting too much into your neck, right, then don't go up as high with the twist. Or maybe you loosen your grip, right? Arms stay straight if you can, or as best you can. 2 more here. Drive those hips up, reach up, and back. Last one. Reach up, and then down. Nice work. Take the strap, the long loop, into your left hand. Right hand goes down to the shoulder block. I'm gonna bring my legs together. Now I'm gonna step my left shin out a little bit. Okay, so still hip socket distance apart. I'm gonna now take the arm up over my body. So right now I'm getting an amazing stretch down my left side, okay? So you're gonna keep this stretch. Push down through your right arm. Ooh, something in my eye. Push down through your shins. All right, and then feel like you're driving your hip points and your pubic bone forward. Now, can you elongate the sides of your neck? Palm stays facing into your body. Turn your head down towards your right hand. Can you now try to straighten that top arm up? And then bend the elbow. If the arm doesn't go straight, it doesn't go straight. No worries, right? It's a lot on the shoulder. But I'm hoping by doing this, you're feeling like a really nice deep stretch down that left side. Let's do 2. Keep lifting up through the ribs. Last one, bend the elbow. All right, we take it down. We do the same thing on the other side. Shins, press them down big time. That's gonna help root you down and keep you from falling. Palms facing down to the floor. We sit the hips back, rotate your body towards the back frame, and then we drive those arms up. So it's an upward chop. Hips sit back, up and away. Keep those armpits and your back muscles at the party the whole time. And if you're like me that tends to go into your low back, I want you to think of almost tucking your tailbone between your thighs. Up and down. Find those inner thighs, keep the press down through the shins. Let's do 3. How those arms feeling? Shoulders are starting to feel it. And 2. Keep that strong grip. Last one. Nice, y'all. Come down. All right, strap goes into your right hand, left hand onto the shoulder block. Shimmy the shins out a little bit. The closer you are, the deeper the stretch. So it's a big side bend. Look down at that left hand, and as you push into the left hand, feel like your ribs are lifting up off of your hips. Alrighty, try to keep that elbow still in space, and now try to straighten the arm, and then bend. Palm stays facing down to the floor. And once again, the sides of the neck are long. It's kind of a dig at me, because I can just feel my shoulders wanting to creep up into my ears here. And make sure you still have weight on that outside shin. I just felt like I was shifting more into my left shin here. Let's do 3. Hang in there. And 2. And last one. Awesome. Arm's gonna come down. Go ahead and hang up that strap. Nice work. All right, so now we're gonna place your footwork springs back on. So you have the heavy, medium, and a light. And I forgot to mention, if you have like a sticky pad to place on for your stomach massage, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have it, then I want you to place 2 mediums and a light spring on, okay? No worries if you don't. You're gonna have a seat on that sticky pad here, and you're gonna sit pretty close here towards your foot bar. So let's place your toes on your platform first, and you're in like a little Pilates V, okay? So Heels are lifted. Take your hands down onto the mat, either in front of your hips or beside your hips. You pick where, like, you'll know where to go here in a second, all right? So I want you to feel your hips kind of roll under a little bit. Feel like you're pulling your organs away from your thighs. And now take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, can you hover the toes up or the feet up off the platform and pull your knees deep, 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 deep into your chest? And then lower the feet back down. All right, so you found your place where to put your hands, right? So take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, pull the knees into the chest. Round, 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 and then back down. So even though we're rounding, we're not sinking, right? So I want you to still feel that lift, that up and over sensation. We're gonna do it one more time. All right, inhale. Exhale, pull the knees deep, 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 deep into your chest. And now place the toes up onto the foot bar. Take your hands to the front edge of the mat. Every toe pad is connected here. Round your spine, feel the hips curl under. Press the carriage out to straight legs. Hold here. As your heels drop, can you pull your abdomen back a little bit more? Lift your heels, bend your knees, pull yourself all the way in. Inhale takes you out, you lower, you lift. Exhale pulls you home, right? So as you're going out and in here, your arms are pulling you forward, but your abdomen is pulling back. So if you're tight, you might be getting a really nice stretch right now. And when you come in, can you find that same deep abdominal work like you did with the foot hover? Last one here, inhale or exhale, come all the way in. All right, so now I want you to take off your light spring. Let's take off the light spring. Reach the arms out in front of you. Now circle the arms around, take them back to your shoulder blocks. If this doesn't feel nice, take your fist down into the mat. So I want you to feel a push down through the arms, a lift of the chest, press the carriage out. Beautiful. We lower the heels. We lift the heels. Bend the knees, come all the way home. Inhale takes you out. Keep the breath as you lower. You lift. Exhale, empty the lungs, pull yourself all the way home. Inhale out. We lower. We lift. Exhale pulls you home. So think about this pull home. There's your footwork. And there's that knee coming into your chest when we did that like pike hover thing. Right, and also that pull down like we did in footwork. So many connections, right? Good. Bring the carriage all the way in. All right, take the arms off. And now, as smooth as you can, we're gonna take off the heavy spring and we're gonna put on a medium spring. So right now you have 2 medium springs, all right? Arms reach out in front of you. Pinch your heels together, press the carriage out, keep reaching the arms up and over your feet. And now can you get taller as you bend your knees, come all the way home. Inhale takes you out, lift taller. Exhale, pull yourself home. The arms are strong and think of them pressing down into something. Exhale, pull you home. Press it out. We lift and twist to the left. Open up your wingspan, find your upper back, and then come back to center. Press it out. We lift and twist. Open, lift, lift, and back to center. 2 more times each side. Lift and twist. And back to center. Feel like your arms are being pulled in 2 different directions. And back to center. Woo, press it out. Left arm is back. Take your right arm. Place it up against your left leg. Get you deeper into the twist. Now can you stay in the twist? Left or right arm comes up. Come back to center. Woo, I'm feeling it. Press it out. Right arm goes back. Left arm. Use it to deepen the twist. Deepen the twist. And now left arm comes up. Woo, and back to center. Grab onto that foot bar. Give yourself a monkey stretch. Separate the heels. If you can, your legs will go straight, or you can do like a little pedaling out here. All right. If you had that sticky pad, do away with it. And now we're gonna stay on the 2 medium springs. Your foot bar is gonna come all the way down. We're gonna do a little semicircle here. Nice articulation. So your toes are gonna come onto your foot bar in a Pilates V. Lie all the way down, hands come onto the shoulder blocks. You're gonna slide yourself out, find the top of your bridge.
So get yourself sorted here. Knees are only bent to shoulder width, right? So not out super wide. With the arms pushing back, just make sure that we're not in our neck. Drive your pelvis and your pubic bone up higher than your 2 hip points. And now without letting the carriage move a whole lot, soften down through the sternum, the ribs, the low back, and the hips eventually come all the way down, right? Find your tailbone into the well. Press the carriage out 3/4 of the way. Hold here. Carriage doesn't move. Curl your tailbone under. Roll the pelvis up and through. Lift, lift, lift. Beautiful. And then pull yourself all the way home. All right. And now when you roll down here, just negotiate the springs and all the equipment, depending on what you have. Press it out. Carriage stays quiet. Roll the tailbone under. All right. Low abs are working just as much. Lift the hips up. Pull the carriage in. Now we reverse for 2. Press it out. Drag your pubic bone across the ceiling. Soften down through the sternum. Push out through the arms. Roll down, roll down, roll down. Pull yourself all the way in. Undulate your spine and your hips up, 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 up. Press the carriage out. Last one here, carriage doesn't move. Roll down. Tailbone's the last thing to hit, y'all. Resist, resist, resist. Nice. Bring it all the way home. Roll your hips up, up, up. Lift those heels up high. Can you circle the arms around and grab onto your ankles? If not, just grab onto the frame, right? Once you're grabbing onto something, keep the pubic bone lifted and drive your heels down. Breathe into the front of the thighs. Maybe even bring your thighs together. And then go ahead and circle the arms around. Find your shoulder blocks and pull your body up. All right. Now, we're gonna place a light spring on. So you have a medium and a light. So one of the mediums is gonna come off, medium and a light spring. Kneeling back on your carriage, hip socket distance apart. Hook your feet around the edge of the mat here. We're gonna end with our chest expansion and our thigh stretch. So I don't care if palms are facing in towards one another, back behind you, you do you. But feel that you're in this plumb line. The pelvis is like, I shouldn't say trying to go forward, it's just trying to stay underneath your ribs. Arms are gonna stay straight. Pull the arms down and back and pause here. Feel the length out through the crown of your head and down through your fists. And then turn your head to the right. And then turn your head to the left. And then turn your head to center. And then slowly release. Again, pull the arms down and back. Puff up the chest. Turn your head to the left. Turn your head to the right. Turn your head to center. And then slowly release. All right. Now, place a medium spring back on. So we have 2 mediums and a light. Knees, shimmy them up to the shoulder blocks, still hip socket distance apart. So a lot of shoulder blocks are wider than hip sockets. So for me, they're splitting the center of my thighs. So just check that. I'm gonna choke up. Shins and tops of the feet are pressing down. I'm gonna find my plumb line, or like, you know, I'm finding a plank spine. And then keeping that, I'm gonna hinge back. Hinge back to your point of control. Again, find your inner thighs and then lift yourself all the way up. And if this makes you nervous for whatever reason, I want you to look down at your chest or maybe at your headrest as you go back. And then back up. Sometimes I like to do a couple of these before I do my flat back or my extension. I just feel safer here. My neck feels good. And then when you're ready, if you're not already there, right, maybe you go back and maybe you find extension here. So roll the chest open. And then to come out of it, you nod your chin, sit the hips back, and then come up. You only have one more, that's it, right? So you go back to your point of control. Roll the chest open. Look back, stretch back, and then nod the chin. Let the chest soften, let the hips sit back, and come all the way up. And you guys are done. I appreciate you. Nice work today.